What's up, y'all? We've had our camper van Desert Snow for close to 3 years now. I mean, dang. Time flies when you're having fun. And no matter where we are, when we're out on the road, we always get this question. What's it really like to live with a wet bath? So today, I'm gonna tell you exactly what it's like to have a wet bath. I'm talking the good, the bad, and the ugly.
What's it like living with a wet bath, Bubby? I don't know what it's like living with a wet bath. All I know is I like the situation I have. You just keep cleaning up after me, girl. Keep doing you. Greatly appreciated.
Now, traditional wet baths in Class Bs are your shower, your sink, toilet, all in one space, and it all gets wet. And you do get a lot of camper vans out there that don't even have a bathroom at all. I mean, some of them even go as far as making some makeshift showers. I'm talking a curtain and a bucket and your rinse. And if they don't have that type of skill set, they just might take the kitchen sink outside and rinse off.
Well, here's my wet bath, y'all. Look, just learn it. 1 and 2, 1 and 2. Get into it. That's all it takes. That's the perfect wet bath right there.
We do have a wet bath. And so what's it really like in our wet bath, living with this? Well, it's a very special wet bath indeed. Let's get into it. So first and foremost, get this concept into your head. A wet bath is basically that. It's just a wet bath, a place for you to take care of your business, brush your teeth, take a quick shower, and move on. Our wet bath has a little bit of a uniqueness to it that allows you to make it feel a little bit more like a home style bathroom. It's really like a wet, dry bath, and I'll get into more of that in just a sec. So I am sitting right now on our storm pooper. I'm not pooping, our storm pooper. Well, it is a storm pooper. Let me show you. It's a storm pooper. Take a look. See, I told you, storm pooper. Well, what's nice about this one here, it is definitely a Thetford, so you rotate it. But one of the biggest difference between ours and say some of the Class Bs out there is it's not a black tank, it's a cassette toilet. And that's another whole animal in itself. One thing you did not notice in here is ventilation. We don't have a ventilation or vent fan. And that's because what's really cool about this is we have a full-on window. And this window, when you're doing your storm business with that view, it works really, really well. All right, so come with me 1 second. So that cassette toilet that I mentioned to you, well, that only is a 5-gallon cassette toilet. I know you're probably saying, that's already done for me. Well, for a lot of folks it is, but for us, the fact that it allows us a little bit more flexibility and we're always vigilant about taking care of what we need to take care of. Plus, it's Dave's job, so he could probably tell you a little bit more about that. It does work for us. Now, remember, I did say we're gonna talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly. So let's get to one of the ugly parts really quick here. Obviously, you know what where I'm going with this one. With us, a wet bath, especially in a Class B or a van, you don't have a lot of space, whether it's a 5-gallon toilet or your black tank. And so for us, we have yet to do a number 2 in ours. And so we only do a number 1. So I don't really have to worry about too much of the type of septic paper, toilet paper, because I just put it in the trash. I don't put it in the tank, I put it in the trash. Even if I had septic paper, which is toilet paper, which is a little more expensive, I still would put it in the trash. So therefore we don't use it. So you might be saying, well, what about your number 2? Or maybe you're not saying that, but I'm gonna tell you anyway. Now, I'm not gonna get graphic on a number 2 because we all know what a number 2 is. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tell you how we keep our cassette toilet in a small wet bath, free of those smells, and also from filling up too quickly. And it's right here. It's a number 2 bag. What I like about these bags is it's very simple. This is the head of the bag. This goes into the toilet, touch them inside. It actually has treatment in there. You know, the stuff that you put in your black tanks, the powder, things like that to prevent things from smelling, eats away the bad stinky bacteria. Well, that's what this is for. So you open up this, it goes right around your toilet. You do your business in there, and when you're all said and done with it, it actually goes right into this bag here, and it zips up. So it keeps it from smelling, and it keeps it very well protected for anything coming out. And then, of course, you just get some bags, and you have a storage bin for it. You put it out there. That will prevent you from filling up your cassette toilet and being stinky. And you know what? You could do multiple times in this thing. Just saying, we've done it many, many times. Multiple times. All right, so for those of you that were probably seeing and thinking, okay, she didn't have gloves on during that rendition. Well, that's not the full rendition. Plus, it wouldn't be me doing it. Dave's job. Right, Dave?
That's right, my job.
So while I'm putting the storm pooper paper back, one thing you might have noticed, if you've been paying attention to any of those Sprinter van Class Bs, it might have similar length to ours, which is about 23 feet, but our wet bath is much bigger than some of the ones you'll find in those Sprinter vans, which makes ours a little bit unique in that regards. Now, ours is more of a B+ because we have that height, and also we don't have slide outs. But if you have not seen the full tour of our camper van Desert Snow, you should definitely check that out. As a matter of fact, we'll put a link in the description box below. So before we get into this section and why I call this a wet dry bath, if you are enjoying our content or you know someone that might be interested in learning more about what it's really like to live with a wet bath, well, share out this video and give it a thumbs up. As a matter of fact, take a second and hit that subscribe button. We would really appreciate that. So what we have going on down here is when we're not showering, I put a rug in here, just makes it feel a little bit more warm and inviting. That's our laundry, sort of laundry basket right there, our cleaning supplies. That's what we have going on in this situation right here. So I have to mention this while I'm sitting on the storm pooper, is I've had many conversations, and if you've been watching any of our videos, you know that I've shared this with you guys, as well as I shared this with Winnebago, is that I think a man designed this bathroom because this sink is kind of low. It didn't have to go, there's so much empty space underneath this sink that it didn't have to come this low because I can't get a good position, which means I have to put one leg in the kitchen sink and one in here just to be comfortable. So I can tell you how I personalize this space here for us just a little bit. It's a small space, so you really want to personalize things in here to make it feel a little bit more homey. So a couple things that I have here is like this dispense, this holder here, which actually allows 2 cups, our toothbrushes. You can put up to 6 in here. I actually have our sunblock in here. Dave will sometimes have his creams or his razors in there. And this is our toothpaste dispenser. I know, it's got some but it's used. At least it's being used, y'all. And behind here is a mirror. Now, right now, I have a towel over it because it's also a mirror. And I don't need y'all staring at the camera. I need y'all staring at all this good information coming from here. But it's just a way that we personalize the space for sure. And it definitely has a good function. But there's also something to this sink that I think you should check out. Now, one of the coolest features of this wet bath, which also makes it feel like a wet dry bath combo, is this right here. Y'all, this is our full-on dry bath shower. Right, babe?
That's right. This wet bath shower is awesome. It has just incredible space with the design. I'm 6'2", and I've been in a lot of wet baths that I'm crouched over like this, crouched over trying to get a good shower. This one I can stand up. I can get my hands in. There's a lot of extra space here. And anyone who does van life knows water, and hot water in particular, is at a premium.
Especially when you're boondocking.
Yeah, exactly. And this Oxygenics head is perfect. You can turn the water on and off very easily, is what we do, right? When I'm showering, I wet myself, I turn the water off.
Yourself.
Well, you know what I'm talking about. And then I lather on up with the water off, and then turn the water back on, rinse off, and I can kind of close it back off to really save the water and the hot water as well. Tommy and I both really like this custom bamboo floor piece. It's not only very comfortable on the feet, but also serves a very functional purpose. Versus like the traditional shower mat, get kind of gross and gummy underneath. This not at all. The water flows out very easily. It's also much easier to dry.
Yes, indeed. There's enough room for even these hips to be up in this shower. I have to say, I really thought Winnebago got it right when it comes to this wet dry bath. It actually has a very European feel, and it's a very ingenious design. And the most important thing is everything on the other side of this wall is dry. I'm talking the toilet, the sink, the medicine cabinet, and even your toilet paper. No more using that little plastic cover that covers your toilet paper to keep it dry and sometimes doesn't work. This is a great fix. So I have to say, a lot of wet baths, they do have those traditional shower curtains, those fibers, plastic versions, things like that. This is a very well-designed shower curtain. It does stay wet a little bit longer. We tend to do a lot of camping in drier climates anyway, so it dries pretty fast. But it does have a great functionality. It goes all the way to the floor. A lot of wet baths have that as well, and some don't. But this is just a great additive piece to this as well. Now, speaking of wet and drying things, one of the things you need to have in a wet bath, proper ventilation. And because once this is closed over the wall, yes, the window is is not as visible. You can open the window, but we do have the fan, the max fan vent on the outside right behind you that we turn on to allow for ventilation to keep that moisture out of the RV. And once we're all done with the shower and everything else, well, we just grab a traditional cloth, or if you have a squeegee, you can get that. That's one thing we need to get, a squeegee, and just really wipe down the walls to allow them to dry faster. Because one thing you don't want to do is have a lot of moisture in your RV. We definitely don't want to have that in ours, and I'm sure you don't want to have that in yours. And especially in smaller spaces like Class Bs, wet baths tend to have that moisture that wants to linger. Well, that is the perfect solution to at least get some of that out of the air. So I just have some traditional command hooks that we put on the inside of the door to hang up our towels, which actually dries pretty efficient. And if it's a nice day outside, I typically will take the towels out there and have them dry naturally in the wind, and it dries much faster than inside the rig. And then when the shower is all said and done, your wall folds back and magnetizes against that, and then it latches. So when you're driving, you don't have to worry about that wall flipping to the other side. And everything on this side, come here, y'all. Everything on this side stays nice and dry. All right, so now y'all know how we live in our camper van desert snow with a wet bath. But one thing I like to know from you is if you have a wet bath or are living with one or been thinking about a wet bath, let us know in the comments below your true thoughts. I mean, let it loose, y'all. We are going to read every comment. We will respond to as many as we can. We'd love to hear it. Isn't that right? Isn't that right, Bailey? You want to hear it? Want to show them how you wet bath, girl? Show them how you wet bath.
He's like, I'm gonna show you how I'm taking a nap. That's what Bubby says. I want to take a nap.
All right, y'all. We'll see you in the next one.